What's up, family? Welcome back to the Best of Best podcast. I am your host and your friend, Bess. How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling real good. You know, I was on TikTok the other day and I came across this shadow work journal, and I've seen so many videos about this shadow work journal. So I was like, let me go ahead and order this journal. Of course, because I'm always the one to test the waters. I'm like, let me go ahead and order this journal because, you know, just the where I am in my journey of self-discovery and just healing and learning and loving, I'm in a position of having to uncover those spaces. You know, the ones that we hide, those things that we hide, you know, don't nobody know about that, you know, are internal. And it could be a lot of things. It could be ways that you feel about yourself, ways that you feel about other people, experiences that you've been through that you never told anybody about. I'm in that space right now. So I'm all too familiar with shadow work. And the thing is, you know, with this journal being a TikTok trend, I would say, one thing that you have to, let me just say it this way. You have to be careful what you start to uncover, because if your foundation is not solid enough to handle the things that's about to come out when you start doing that shadow work and that root work, it may get ugly. It's going to be ugly anyways, because things that we hide, just imagine things that have been sitting in the dark for so long. I remember I went to church. It was Easter Sunday, and I go to church more than Easter Sunday. I just want to do a disclaimer because, you know, people like, you don't go to church but Easter. No, I go to church more than Easter. Okay. But it just happened to be Easter Sunday. And so he was talking about walking in resurrection with God. Yeah, that's what he talked about. He talked about walking in resurrection with God, and how, you know, when we are on a journey to walking in resurrection with God, how we got to uncover the tomb, right? This is how I identify shadow spaces. And let me just say, you know, when you're doing this type of work, when you're finding your path, when you're aligning and finding your purpose, you have to seek an understanding for yourself. Because everybody's understanding will not be your understanding, and everybody's methods and things that they do will not be yours. So you have to find it for yourself. And I just think about praying. And I know I'm going off topic, but it's going to come back around. So when I think about praying, right, I will watch my grandmother or my mother. They pray for hours. They can pray for hours. I mean, my granny would be like, I'll call her at 6, 7 in the morning. She like, oh, I've been on my knees praying. And she'd be down there for a long time. But me, I'd be like, baby, now I fall asleep. I ain't even gonna lie. Because sometimes I get to talking to God and I'm rambling and I done forgot what I'm talking about. Now I done laid my head down trying to remember. And before I know it, I done dozed off. So you have to seek that relationship and that understanding and what that looks like on your own, because it ain't going to be what everybody else's look like. Okay. So I just wanted to say that. So with that being said, you know, this is just my interpretation of what the pastor said about walking in resurrection. You know, it may not be politically correct. I just want to say that. Like I told y'all, I ain't no expert. I'm learning right along with y'all. So this is my interpretation. So the pastor was talking about, you know, if you want to walk in resurrection with God, right, you have to go to the tomb and you have to uncover those things that you hide, because God already know about it, right? He already know. We're not hiding nothing from him or from ourselves. So the first thing you have to do is go to the tomb. So I look at the tomb as this shadow space, that part of your mind where you just kind of hid everything. Let's say you went through something and you didn't fully process through it. You just kind of, you know, time went on. You know how they say time heals? Time do not heal. Time do not heal. I don't care what nobody say. If you go through a traumatic situation or something that's troubling to you, you have to process through that, because yes, time will go on and you will become you will become more numb to the pain or whatever it is that you're experiencing, but that it doesn't heal. It doesn't heal. You know, it hides. especially if it's something that you haven't worked on. So when they say go to the tomb, I envision the tomb being that place in our mind where we just hide all those things that we've been through, those traumatic experiences, the things we don't talk to anybody about. That's where I envision the tomb being. So he says, go to the tomb. If you want to walk in resurrection with God, if you want to walk in your purpose and alignment with God, go to the tomb. Okay. And once you get to the tomb, well, he defined it as, where did you lay your hope and your joy? What part of your life got you to the point where you just kind of feeling hopeless, where you just kind of feeling like this ain't it? You know, where things was going one way and you thought it was going to go that way, and then it went another, and it caused a reaction within you. Whether that's hopelessness or depression or sadness, whatever it is, go to that tomb, go to that space in your life. The next thing he says is to take away the stone. So uncover that truth. We have to participate in our own healing. So in order for us to process through whatever it is that we've been through or whatever it is that we're hiding, we have to uncover that space and be honest with ourselves, right? About whatever it is, whatever it looks like. And also think about what covers up that pain. What is your stone that you're using to cover up that pain? So the first step was go to the tomb. The second was take away the stone or whatever it is that's covering up that pain. You know, a lot of us hide in our positions. A lot of us hide in the way that we look. A lot of us hide, you know, behind a smile. Whatever it is, take it away so that you can uncover that pain, right? And once you move that stone from that tomb where all this darkness and sadness and, you know, unresolved issues and generational traumas and different things like that, where that hides, the next thing is, don't let the stench stop you. Come on now. Don't let the stench stop you, right? Because whatever you uncover may be ugly. 9.5 times out of 10, whatever you uncover, whatever's hiding in that shadow space, it ain't gonna look good. It ain't gonna feel good. It ain't gonna sound good. It ain't gonna taste good. Whatever it is, it ain't gonna be good because it's been hiding for so long. So he say, don't let the stench stop you from uncovering it, because it might look ugly, right? It might come out as you speaking your truth or something about something that happened to you, and it might cause a rift in your family or in a relationship or whatever the situation is. So you have to not be afraid of what it'll look like or what it'll smell like, because that can prevent you from getting the healing and the resurrection that you need, right? So once you've uncovered that stench, then now you can start processing through and finding what you need to really, come to terms with whatever it is, right? Because shadow spaces, and this is maybe why people think it's demonic. I'm not really sure. But my perception is, when I first heard about shadow spaces, I heard about it from a friend. Her name is Renee. Renee was telling me, like, I was just telling her some of the things I was going through, and she was like, Bess, you got to work on your shadow spaces. You got to do some shadow work. And in my mind, that sounded a little crazy. To me, it sounded like some voodoo something, right? You got to work on your shadow space. It sounds dark. I don't know. When I first heard about it, I was like, I don't like that. But shadow work is not demonic. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Remember, I said you got to get an interpretation and understanding for yourself. We're talking about the same things. When people say, oh, I need to, be cleansed in Christ and all that kind of stuff. I need to uncover the things I haven't healed from and all that kind of stuff. That's shadow work. That's shadow work. You may call it something different, but it's shadow work. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to say, I believe that God died on the cross for my sins. I believe that God is my savior. You know what I'm saying? I believe that Jesus died on the cross for my sins. Let me correct that for the Bible, people. Anyways, but I believe that. I do. I believe all of that. But, So some of the things I may say, it's just my own interpretation, but I believe in God. I believe in all that, so I do want to put that out there. But going back to shadow work. Okay. Shadow work is those things in your mind that you've hidden from people, right? And the thing that people don't understand is when you don't heal from things, when you just block it out. And I've done this so many times, especially when I go through something traumatic, right? And let's just say you're in a relationship. I could use myself for an example. I've been through an abusive relationship in my past. And this was, at the hands of somebody that I truly, truly cared about. And after that relationship ended, it was so hard for me to come to terms with how could somebody, who claims to love you, how could they treat you so bad? How could they do, some of the things that he had done to me? And over time, I never really processed. I just wanted to block it out because it hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. I just wanted to block it out. I'm going to be honest. I just wanted to block it out. So as time went on, I still lived my life. I went out dating, having fun, figuring out who I am, all that kind of stuff. But I never really processed through that pain. And how I know I didn't, because it became a point where sometimes I couldn't even recollect the things that had happened to me. I couldn't even remember some of the things I had been through. I couldn't remember birthdays during the time, for the duration of this relationship. I couldn't remember birthdays. I couldn't remember Christmases. I couldn't remember just random things about my life during this period of time. I couldn't remember because I had blocked it out so much. I couldn't remember it. That's a shadow space. And so as time went on, in my mind, I'm like, I've healed from it. I get in another relationship and I've healed from it and I've grown from that and it don't impact me and it don't affect me no more because I didn't heal from it, right? This is my thought. Bear with me. Hold on. We're getting somewhere. So this was my thought. But then I get into a relationship and let's just say he do one of the simplest things, maybe we get into an argument or something like that. And now I'm taking it overboard, because now my body's going into fight or flight mode. And I'm like, okay, let me make sure I see an exit. Let me make sure I got something to protect me. Let me make sure, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to let nobody do to me what this man had did. So let me make sure I got my, whatever I need to be straight. But in his mind, this just a little argument. We just disagreeing. But because I hadn't truly healed from that abusive relationship, I hadn't truly processed what I had been through, this shadow space, these things started to show up in my actions, started to show up in the way that I handle conflicts. It started to show up in the way that I pick intimate partners, the friendship relationships that I'm in. It starts to creep into your life in different ways to live, and you don't recognize it because it's becoming a part of your normal actions. You done left this relationship, and now you got trust issues that you never truly work on. So the next person got to work super, super hard to gain your trust, and they never did nothing to you bad. Never did nothing wrong to you, but they don't start with a clean slate. Because your slate ain't clean, because you got all this baggage and all this negativity and all this, abuse that's piled up on your slate before you even, you know what I'm saying? Before you even get into the relationship with the person. But in your mind, you heal from it, right? Because I don't think about it no more. I don't cry about it no more. It don't affect me. But little do you know, it's showing up in your actions, the way you move, the way you think, the way you process, all of these things. Little do we know. So that's what shadow work is. It's uncovering those things so that you can truly be healed and you can truly, find love again or love yourself or whatever it is. Have that relationship with your mother or your father who was never there, whatever the situation is, right? That's what shadow spaces is. And that's what shadow work is. And so, when I saw it on TikTok and everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm about to buy this shadow work journal. I'm about to do that. And I'm like, ooh, hold on. Because I love that everybody is trying to uncover those spaces. But I do want to let y'all know when y'all start, uncovering those dark spaces, when y'all remove that stone from the tomb, some things will come out. And you got to be prepared. I always talk to my sister about being proactive versus being reactive. If you're being proactive, you're preparing yourself with anticipation of what's about to happen. Being reactive is allowing a thing to happen, and then now you got to figure out, how you going to bounce back from whatever it is that happened, right? You got to react. So when you do shadow work, and this is just my own personal opinion, when you do shadow work, you have to be prepared with your foundation. My foundation is God. My foundation is my spirituality. You have to be A1 with your foundation and have some things in place, because some things may come up that you forgot about. When I started doing shadow work and I started to uncover those spaces from that period of time when I was in an abusive relationship, maybe it was things that I had forgot about, that I had went through, that I forgot about. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. And it's so easy to become sad and become burdened, all these feelings start rushing back. But they're rushing back so that you can process through them and so that you can truly heal from them, But if you're not prepared, what happens when those negative feelings start coming back? When that hurt that you experienced during that time frame comes back, when those things that your father said to you comes back, or those nasty things that, a friend that you truly love, starts to come back to you, or that thing that you did that nobody knows about, that you regretted. What happens when it comes back and you're in a position of feeling those same feelings all over again? We got to be proactive. So, I love that people are getting into shadow work and, trying to uncover shadow spaces in their lives and trying to heal. But you have to truly be prepared when you start to do that. You have to have a foundation to hold you, okay? Because if you don't, baby, it will get you, okay? So that's really what I wanted to say. Like, I love it. And as we are on this journey of self-discovery and just really aligning with our purpose and being the best versions of ourselves, it's going to come to a point where we're going to have to tap into those uncomfortable spaces. So now that we know that, depending on where you are in that journey, now that we know that, we have an opportunity to be proactive and to establish a foundation for ourselves. And so I want to leave with the question of asking you, what is your anchor? What is your foundation? When things get crazy and, life is just lifing, okay? Because life be lifing sometimes. What is that thing that you grasp and hold on to that keeps you anchored to be like, oh, baby, it's hard right now, but it's a light at the end of this tunnel. What's that reminder for you? I want to know. All right, y'all. So let's get in with some positive affirmations, because it just makes us feel good. It's those pep talks that we say to ourselves when we need a moment of uplifting and inspiration. So as always, you can repeat after me or you can say your own. I am resilient. I trust in my body's ability to heal and my mind's ability to heal. I am surrounded by love and support, which nurtures my healing journey. I choose a path of positivity and healing and wellness. And today, I will have a great day. Yes, let's go be great, y'all.